Chapter 114, The Foreign Battleground opens Part 2. Xin Hai looked at Shang Yuan Yun and said, "Senior brother went to greet the messenger from Heaven's Tower. I believe he will be here soon." At that moment, the formation lit up again. Everyone outside the valley stopped their chatting and turned to watch. Tang Hueyuan clenched his fists as he gloomily stared at the formation. He had already made up his mind that the moment Wang Lin appears, he will use the curse to teleport next to him and make him suffer all the torture in the world. The formation shined brightly, and 13 people walked out. Tang Hueyuan's face became even more gloomy as he pinched another soul in the flag. He sneered in his heart. "Wang Lin, if you're really cold-hearted enough to not care about your family and don't come out, then I'll admit that I underestimated you. But even if you manage to get away, once I reach the mid-stage of nascent soul, I can increase the power of the curse to find you." The cultivators outside of the valley began to talk again. The qualification battle this time is too strange. Before, the first to come out always had the most people, and then the number of people decreases from there on. Why is it that the second group has more than the first group? Strange, I have a feeling that the matter this time is very strange. What sect is it this time? If any of you know, speak quickly. It's the He Huan sect. I know that slut, Wang Ying. As long as she appears within 100 feet of me, I can smell her stench. That is correct, that is the He Huan sect. As people talked, the faces of the two nascent soul cultivators of the He Huan sect, Cheng Huan and Chen Yan, darkened. They sighed as they looked at each other, then their expressions returned to normal. The disciples of the He Huan sect gloomily rushed toward Cheng Huan and Chen Yan with complex expressions on their faces. The leading female disciple quickly threw a voice transmission, jade to the two nascent soul cultivators when they arrived. Chen Yuan frowned. He placed the jade on his forehead and was startled. Then he quickly looked at Wang Ying and asked, "Is this true?" Wang Ying respectfully said, "Ancestor, we saw it with our own eyes." The disciples behind her all seemed to already know the contents of the jade, and all quickly nodded. Chen Yan looked at everyone, then took the jade from Chen Yuan. After scanning the jade for a long time, she let out a cold laugh and crushed the jade into dust. Suddenly, a pair of eyes from one of the orthodox sects looked at them. Chen Huan and Cheng Yan immediately turned and saw Xin Hai nodding at them. Chen Huan and Chen Yan noticed Xin Hai's reaction when the Pyro Miao sect disciples came out, but couldn't guess why. However, after seeing the jade, they realized what happened. Tang Hueyuan frowned as he looked at Chen Huan, Chen Yan, and Xin Hai. He suddenly felt that something big was going to happen, but he didn't know what the problem could be. After speculating for a bit, he couldn't figure out what was wrong, so he let out a cold snort and destroyed another soul in the flag. At that moment, not only Tang Hueyuan, but all of the other sects realized that something was wrong. They didn't know what the disciples could have said to make the faces of 3 nascent soul cultivators become so dark. Even the small families, small sects, and independent cultivators noticed that something was wrong, so they all gathered together and started talking. Just at that moment, the sky suddenly darkened and a circle of light silently appeared. The circle of light floated to the middle of the sky, then expanded to 10 meters in radius. 4 people walked out of it. The person in the front was fat like a ball with a smile on his face. But the moment he appeared, all of the nascent soul cultivators flew into the air and respectfully stood at his side. This person was the messenger that was left at Zhao, Lin Yi. Li Yin let out a laugh and said, "Everyone, I'm here to help the messengers of the higher cultivation countries open the gate to the foreign battleground. I won't mess with your right to enter, so please rest assured." The 3 people behind Li Yin were Pun and Zai, the white-haired cultivator from the Pyro Miao sect, and the skinny cultivator from the Tian Dao sect. These 3 accompanied Li Yin and landed in the middle of the clearing. All of the other nascent soul cultivators quickly followed and stood at their sides. Xin Hai took the chance to stand next to the white-haired old man and sent over some voice transmissions. This white-haired old man was the Pyro Miao sect's #1 expert, Zhu Mei. After he heard Xin Hai's message, he calmly nodded. The formation lit up again and 5 people walked out. The moment those 5 appeared, a wave of cold energy spread out. The five's eyes were bloodshot. They looked around and found a corner to sit in. What sect are they from? Everyone immediately started to talk again. After a long time, no one could figure it out, so everyone started guessing what sect these five were from. Zhu Mei, who was standing beside Li Yin, suddenly laughed and said, "Lord Messenger, look at these disciples of the corpse sect, filled with hostility. I heard that the corpse sect has a secret technique that allows their disciples to fuse with their corpse puppets. I guess those five are these so-called human puppets." Lin Yin nodded and said, "Those five are indeed human puppets." The skinny man from the Tian Dao sect looked around and frowned as he said, "Why isn't fellow cultivator Yi here?" Lin Yi shook his head and said, "The corpse sect didn't follow the rules of keeping the token within the Juming Valley, so they are disqualified. Even if he doesn't come, it doesn't matter." With that, he casually looked at crowd in the northwest and secretly thought, "The corpse sect. This time, several more people will finish the possession and recover their cultivation." Thinking about that, Lin Yi suddenly turned toward to Wu Feng Valley's nascent soul cultivator and said, "Wu Feng Valley also didn't keep their token and is disqualified, but they gave their token to another sect, so that sect is allowed to have 2 tokens because there is no limit on the amount of tokens you can have." The nascent soul cultivator of Wu Feng Valley was an old man in black. His expression didn't change as he looked at Teng Hueyuan. Teng Hueyuan was also silent. Even though he was a guest elder, he still paid a huge price to get the token. The formation lit up again. Suddenly, Teng Hueyuan's heart pounded as he felt the curse. He stared at the formation, waiting for Wang Lin to appear. The moment Wang Lin appears, he will immediately teleport out.